I want to tell you a quick little story about a project Dwayne and I worked on together. And over on this table, I noticed a couple of plaques where our names are forever joined on those plaques. This was a project I want to talk about because two good things came out of it, and I'll talk about that. We went into some of the smaller counties of North Carolina to investigate absentee voter fraud. We made a pretty good team. I'll say I was probably a little bit better with the records. Dwayne was the best interviewer I have ever seen in my life. Mike referred to how he was nice. He could be nice and receptive, but he could also be damn threatening too. And some of the people who fessed up when they were talking to Dwayne could tell you more about that. We found the fraud in absentee ballots. It wasn't hard to find. We had some counties that were voting almost a third of their population by absentee ballot. And we traveled the state, mostly separate, to look into this fraud. And we found it. I can't remember exactly why. Most of the time he would work in county and I worked in it. Most of the time that's where we were, but we wound up at Cherokee County one night. And we went to the courthouse, and what had happened is there had been some allegations of vote fraud, and they impounded the ballots, and we couldn't get to it. And it was getting ready to snow. It was late at night, and we were about to give up. And Dwayne turned to me and he said, "Joe, Cammy, you know they're going to get in there and clean those records up before they open those boxes to anybody else." I said, "Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what they open to." He said, "Let's go down there and have a look." So we went down to the courthouse. And we walked around, and the courthouse was dark, and there was nobody there. He said, "Let's look inside." So we went up to the door, looked at it. He said, "If you will stand watch, I'll go in." The statute of limitations has run now, so I can tell you, we made an unauthorized entry into the Cherokee County Courthouse. And we compiled our notes, and sure enough, when the ballots were released, they had changed a lot of those records, and we had records of it. I said two good things came out of this project. One was that the state of North Carolina changed its laws to try to clean up some of this fraud that was taking place. And the other is the chicken bone special. Now, some of you may not know this, but Dwayne was perceptive enough in tracing the paths of some of these people who were somewhere else but still voting in North Carolina. He was perceptive enough to discern some migration patterns. For instance, people from the mountains of North Carolina might wind up in Washington where they follow a wood cutting or lumber crew. People from a smaller county, maybe more in the east, would go to Chicago, Detroit, somewhere to work in factories. And that's where the genesis, that's why Dwayne told me, that's where he got the idea to do that. I wasn't perceptive enough to understand and see that. But anyway, those are the two good things that came out of that. I will remember him forever, and I'm glad our names are going to be joined forever on that fact. Thank you very much.
I wrote out my thoughts about Dwayne for two reasons. First, if I do not speak from prepared text, I will ramble. Second, I knew that any gathering of friends of Dwayne Walls would include a bunch of wordsmiths far more able with English language than this poor soul. Dwayne's professional skills were so obvious and so widely appreciated that in thinking about him, one tends to focus primarily on his professional self. In doing so, though, one risks missing much of the character that made Dwayne such a great reporter and such a wonderful and beloved friend. That character was simply that Dwayne respected people. He was a good interviewer because he was interested in people and wanted to know all about them. If somebody respects you, you pick that up. Some years back, I had a rather unpleasant stroke. When I came home from the hospital, back to our house in the woods south of Chapel Hill, I would have been delighted and honored and quite grateful had Dwayne occasionally stopped by to visit me. He came regularly. He knew, as Alice did, and I was unable to see, that if I didn't have some kind of a systematic way to get out of the house and engage the world, I would stay inside, turn inward, and fail ever to ponder anything other than my own misfortune. So as busy as he was with his journalistic activities, his traveling to every hamlet in North Carolina, I think, to coach writing, he would drive that big Buick out to our house in the woods and help me get in and carry me over to Green Group, third Monday of every month. And if he had to get back to one of those hamlets right away, he'd ask Brother Barber to take me home, and Wade always did. And Wade always got me within 20 miles of the house, too. Thank you, Wade. You mentioned a while ago John Steinbeck coming to mind as well. John Steinbeck and Dwayne shared that characteristic of respecting people. Think about what each of them wrote. The people that you read about were treated with respect by the writer. Thank you. I'm not going to just relate any of the Wallsisms that I know. Chip, I would like to see you privately afterwards. That cannot be said in heterogeneous like all that I would have, I would give for us not to have this occasion to be together. Even my autographed Brooks Robinson baseball card and my 1972 Nixon Agnew campaign button. For all of you, which is the majority, too young to know who Agnew was, he was Dr. Frankenstein's first effort to create a Sarah Palin vice president.